Welcome students to EPG Pathshala. The title of this module is Water Pollution. The objective of this module is to learn about the various sources of water pollution, what are the various water pollutants, and in the third part we are going to learn about certain famous incidences of water pollution. So let's come to the details now. Classification of water pollution. Classification of water pollution can be done in various ways. The most common one is according to the most common one is according to the identifiability of the source, and second on the basis of the origin or source from which the pollutants are emanating. According to the identifiability, the water pollution can be taken as a point or a non-point source. Point sources refer to pollutants that belong to a single identifiable source. Now, according to the activities from which they originate, the source of water pollution can be described as follows: industries, sewage and wastewater, mining activities, agricultural runoff, marine dumping, accidental leakage, burning of fossil fuels, facilities handling radioactive materials, and urban development. So first, coming to the industrial sources, industries produce huge amount of waste which contains toxic chemicals and pollutants. These pollutants ultimately find their way in the effluents discharged by industries. These pollutants ultimately find their way into water bodies due to the effluents discharged by these industries. They contain pollutants such as lead, mercury, sulfur, asbestos, nitrates, and many other harmful chemicals. Although mandatory, many industries do not have proper waste management systems and drain the waste in the fresh water which goes into rivers, canals, and later into the sea. Toxic chemicals have the capability to change the color of water, increase the amount of minerals, change the temperature of water, and pose serious hazard to the water organisms. The next source is sewage and wastewater. Everyday wastewater from sinks, dishwashers, cloth washers, and toilets flow into sewer pipes to a treatment system. Everyday wastewater from sinks, dishwashers, cloth washers, and toilet flows into sewer pipes to a treatment plant. Often this partially treated sewage leaves the treatment plant and is discharged to a waterway. Also, leakage from the sewer lines can contaminate the underground water and make it unfit for the people to drink. The sewage water carries harmful bacteria and chemicals that can cause serious health problems. Microorganisms in water cause some very deadly diseases and become the breeding ground for carriers of diseases causing organisms. These carriers spread diseases by various forms of contact with the host. A very common example of this is the spread of the malaria. The next source is the mining activities. Mining is the process of crushing the rock and extracting coal and other minerals from underground. The minerals extracted in the raw form contain harmful chemicals and can increase the amount of toxic elements when mixed up with water. Mining activities emit several metal waste and sulfide from the rocks. Mine drainage causes the acidity of water, which in turn disturbs the chemical composition of water source by dissolving and freeing some harmful substances from the surrounding rock material. The next source is the agricultural runoff. The water leaving from agricultural land is known as agricultural runoff. It could be due to drainage by rain or by excessive irrigation. The runoff from the agricultural fields contain nutrients and organic matter from fertilizer application and decomposition of agricultural wastes, as well as other chemicals such as herbicides and pesticides. The agricultural runoff is rich in nutrients and encourages algal bloom, overgrowth of aquatic weeds, and this leads to depletion of oxygen from the water and also blocks sunlight from reaching underwater vegetation critical to fish and wildlife habitats. The herbicides and pesticides enter the food chain and have toxic effects at various trophic levels. The next source is marine dumping. The garbage produced by human activities in the form of paper, aluminum, rubber, glass, plastic, food, if collected and deposited into the garbage produced by human activities in the form of paper, aluminum, rubber, glass, plastic, food is collected and deposited into the sea in some countries. Also, waste from recreational activities and waste from traveling vessels are thrown into the oceans. These items takes hundreds of years to decompose. Some of these items contains leftover contents and are made up of chemicals which are spilled and leached into the water. When such items enter the sea, they not only cause water pollution but also harm the various organisms. The next source of water pollution is accidental leakage. Marine pollution due to oil spill. The world runs on oil, and to meet the demand of oil, it is transported all over the world in very large ships. Sometimes these ships carrying large quantity of oil may spill oil if they meet with an accident. Oil enters into the sea, which does not dissolve with water and causes problem for local marine wildlife such as fish, birds, sea otters as well as plants, as the light penetration is also affected by the oil slick. Groundwater pollution by landfill leakage. Landfills are nothing but huge piles of garbage that produces awful smell and can be seen across the cities all over the world. When it rains, the landfill waste gets washed and produce leachates. These leachates may percolate into the groundwater or can be washed off as surface runoff and contaminate the nearby water bodies. Underground storage leakage. Transportation of gas and other petroleum products through underground pipe is well known all over the world. Accidental leakage may happen due to aging of pipes, negligence during digging, as well as intentional due to pilferage by miscreant. Next source of pollutant is burning of fossil fuels. Fossil fuels like coal and oil, when burnt, produce substantial amount of ash as well as gases into the atmosphere. The particles which contain toxic chemicals, often of sulfur, which is present in coal, when mixed with water vapors result in acid rain. Also, carbon dioxide is released from burning of fossil fuels, which results in global warming, which in turn affects the water cycle and the purification of natural water. The next source of pollution is facilities handling radioactive materials. Nuclear power plants produce energy by nuclear fission by using radioactive materials such as uranium. These plants also generate waste. The nuclear waste contains radioactive material which needs to be disposed of properly. Nuclear waste can have serious environmental hazards if not disposed of properly. Accidents also occur due to malfunctioning of the safety mechanism within these plants. Few major accidents have already taken place in Russia, USA and Japan. Nuclear research centers and medical sectors also handle radioactive materials. Negligence or accidental release of radioactive material leads to the water pollution. Mining of uranium also exposes the environment to the radioactive material. The next source is the urban development. Now, more and more of the human population is moving towards cities. Now, these cities produce runoff and wastewater which pollutes the groundwater and surface water. Growing population demands more for housing, food and clothes. As more cities and towns are developed, they have resulted in soil erosion due to deforestation, increase in construction activities, inadequate sewer collection and treatment, landfill as more garbage is produced, increase in chemicals from industries to produce more material. Now, let us come to the actual water pollutants and how they are classified. Water pollutants can be divided into four major categories, that is chemical pollutants, physical pollutants, physiological and biological pollutants. The physical and physiological pollutants are mainly outcome of chemical pollutants. However, they are categorized separately because of their nature. Now, first coming to the chemical pollutants. Chemical pollutants can further be divided into organic pollutants and inorganic pollutants. Now, organic pollutants. Organic pollutants are the compounds that contain carbon atom in them and are mainly of biological origin. These are the oxygen depleting substances in water because they can be easily used by microorganisms for food, leading to decrease in oxygen due to respirational uptake. They are carried to the water course from different sources like sewage, animal and human excreta, refineries, distillery, pulp and paper industry, tanneries, dairy industry, textile industry, slaughterhouses, etc. High BOD and COD values is an indicator of high organic content of the wastewater. The organic pollutants could be further divided into two, that is the biodegradable organic pollutants and the non-biodegradable organic pollutants. First coming to the biodegradable organic pollutants, these are the organic materials which can be easily degraded by the microorganisms. Most of the naturally occurring organic compounds, usually originating from plants, are biodegradable. BOD value is a good indicator of the presence and quantity of the biodegradable organic pollutants in the water. Now, the second one are the non-biodegradable organic pollutants. These are the organic material which are resistant to biological degradation. Most of these are man-made synthetic organics. Some naturally occurring organic compounds are biodegraded, but so slowly that they are considered refractory. For example, lignic acid, tannic acid, cellulose and many of the organics associated with petroleum. The next category is inorganic pollutants, which include inorganic acids, alkalis, salts, anions, cations, free chlorine and ammonia and many others. They are added as a result of industrial effluents, municipal sewage, surface runoff from urban and agricultural fields. They affect both the physical and chemical quality of the water. They are added as a result of industrial effluents, municipal sewage, surface runoff from urban agricultural field. They affect both the physical and chemical quality of the water. Now, coming to the physical pollutants. These are the pollutants which deteriorate the physical parameters of water quality. These include color, turbidity, suspended matter, radioactivity, froth and thermal pollutants. Now, first coming to the color. Color affects the aesthetic value of a water body. Color of water may be natural color produced by plant products and may not be harmful to the health. Brown color of water is mainly due to humic acid and flavonoids as well as tannins. Green and red color is also produced by pigments of microalgae. Color produced by chemical includes various dyes, toxic colored compounds of iron and chromium, and all these are highly harmful. Next is the turbidity. Turbidity is due to colloidal particles which do not settle in standing water. It may be due to presence of inert and harmless material like clay, or due to the presence of chemicals like hydrated iron oxide, aluminum hydroxide and organic substances. Greater turbidity means presence of greater amount of pollutants in the water, but absence of turbidity does not mean that water is unpolluted. Turbidity decreases and filters light penetration of the water and affects the productivity of a water body because it hinders photosynthesis. Next are the suspended matter. These are coarse and insoluble matter suspended in the water. Natural suspended matters which are not harmful for health include silt, clay, sand and rock particles. The suspended matter of sewage and industrial origin are particularly harmful to health. Next is froth. Froth formation occurs due to the presence of surfactants like soaps, detergents, fatty acids and saponins. These lower the surface tension of the water. Sodium lauryl sulfate and sodium lauryl ether sulfate are common surfactants found in personal care products. Next is the thermal pollution. Thermal pollution is increase in temperature of water body due to discharge of heated water or waste water into the water course. Waste heat is mainly discharged into water by nuclear and thermal power plants and by industries involving water as a coolant in industrial manufacturing. The solubility of gases in water decreases, resulting in oxygen and carbon dioxide deficiency. The solubility of gases in water decreases with its increasing temperature, resulting in oxygen and carbon dioxide deficiency for respiration and photosynthesis. Higher temperature also increase the rate of reaction, leading to higher respiration. Next we come to the physiological pollutants. Physiological pollutants, as said earlier, is caused by presence of some chemicals and also involve the two sensory organs, that is the nose and the tongue. Physiological pollutants are of two types, that is those which impart taste and the other which impart odor. Many chemical compounds are released by industrial waste which impart unpleasant taste to the water. Similarly, many chemicals are discharged into the water bodies which give smell or odor to the water. So, in this table we can see that there are many pollutants, or we can say there are many classes of pollutants which impart these two type of the properties to the water. Under the taste we have synthetic detergents, phenols, chlorophenols, aromatic nitro derivatives. Now, these may result in various types of the change in the taste of the water, from bitter almond taste to phenolic taste. Similarly, we have many chemicals which produce the smell or the odor in the water, which may range from fishy odor to rotten egg smell. The next category of the pollutants are the biological pollutants. The biological pollution occurs due to introduction and growth of micro and macroorganisms in the water body, which adversely affects the quality of water, human health and even the ecosystem. Various biological pollutants include bacteria, algae, weeds, viruses, protozoa and worms. So, this table sums up the various types of the biological pollutants. So, we can see that under bacteria we have E. coli, Clostridium botulism, algae we have macro and micro algae, which some of which produce even toxins. Under viruses we have hepatitis A virus, polio virus, and we have various types of the protozoa, the worms and the weeds also. Now, coming to some of the major incidents of water pollutions which have taken place in history. The first one is the Minamata episode. The Minamata episode took place in the Minamata city of Japan due to disastrous effect of mercury poisoning in 1956. Chizo Corporation, a chemical manufacturing company of Minamata, discharged huge amount of pollutants including mercury into the Minamata Bay. The symptom of this disease include numbness in the hands and feet, general muscle weakness, lack of coordination in muscles, damage to vision, hearing or speech, paralysis and death in extreme cases. This disease caused thousands of deaths of humans and other animals. The researchers took many years to find out the reasons of the Minamata disease, as the mercury released by the chemical company was inorganic and had relatively low solubility as well as toxicity. But a high level of organic form of mercury, that is methyl mercury, was reported in fish and shellfish of Minamata Bay. it was later discovered that organic mercury was enzymatically converted into methyl mercury by methane synthesizing anaerobic bacteria in an acidic medium. Methyl mercury is soluble in water and very toxic and has ability to bioaccumulate in the living organisms. It enters the food chain through phytoplankton and concentrates thousands of times in fishes in the higher trophic level. Consumption of fishes contaminated with mercury caused this disease. This incidence of minimata is the best example of how one type of pollutant can be converted into another type by environmental factors and biomagnification of a pollutant. The next example is the Itai disease. This disease was reported in 1912 in Toyama, Japan. Investigation linked the disease to cadmium poisoning. Cadmium was being released into the rivers as a result of mining activities in the Tomaya region and continued for many years. The water of the Jinju river and its tributaries was used as drinking water, fishing and other general purpose, but mainly for irrigation in the rice fields. Rice absorbs the heavy metals and the cadmium accumulates within the various parts including the grain. On consumption of contaminated rice, the cadmium got accumulated in the muscles of the population and manifested its ill effects. On consumption of contaminated rice, the cadmium got accumulated in the people and manifested its ill effects. Cadmium poisoning causes softening of bones and kidney failure. Symptoms of cadmium poisoning is weakness of the bones resulting in spinal and leg pain. The painful screams of victims, ouch, ouch, is the literal meaning of Itai. The next example of water pollution is the Exxon Valdez oil spill. Now, this was one of the largest oil spills in history. It occurred on 24th March 1989 in the Gulf of Prince William Sound in the Alaska region of North America. It involved the oil tanker Exxon Valdez. From it, about 11 million gallons of crude oil was spilled into the sea, which heavily polluted about 200 square miles of the sea area. The spilled oil caused the death of more than 1 lakh seabirds, thousands of sea otters and harbor seals, hundreds of bald eagle and very high number of salmon and herring. Another example of water pollution is the Terry Canyon oil spill. It occurred off the southwest coast of the United Kingdom on 18th March 1967. The Torrey Canyon oil tanker struck the rocks near Isle of Scilly. The grounding and breaking of the oil tank spilled 25 to 36 million gallons of oil, and it is one of the worst spill in the history. It contaminated hundreds of kilometers of French and Cornish coasts. It claimed lives of more than 15,000 seabirds and a large number of other marine organisms. Heavy deterrent. The problem was further compiled because of the use of large amount of detergent to mitigate the problem. The heavy use of detergents to mitigate the problem also caused further damage in this case. So, now it is time to summarize what we have learned in this module. We have studied that the water pollutants. So, it is now time to summarize what we have learned within this module. We have discussed that there are various sources of water pollution, and these sources, they can be point sources or they can be non-point sources, and they can be other sources also on the basis of water use, such as in industries, in agriculture, in urban areas, so on and so forth. The next thing that we have learnt in this module is about the various types of the pollutants, the actual problem of the water pollution. And in the third part we had learned, or we had studied, or we had discussed about certain incidents of water pollution. So, I hope you have benefited from this lecture, and your knowledge about the water pollution has been enriched. Thank you.